Let's take a look.
Tel Aviv's skyline and the familiar sounds of an Iranian salvo. Another wave of missiles in a conflict with no clear off-ramp. One that's playing out on people's doorsteps, here quite literally. This is Zema in central Israel and the smoking remains of an Iranian attack. Israel also seems far from backing down.
Yeah, the only type of footage that you see is this in real time, basically. The only time where you ever see footage, the only time where you ever see actual footage is like if someone is just like filming and they happen to film one of the bombing targets, because like there's no more, like the media is under heavy military censorship, and Israel has decided, in an effort not to show any like successful strikes, in an effort not to cause panic among Israeli society, I guess, as well as make it seem as though Iran is actually having some impactful strikes on Israeli territory that destroys the missile defenses, the anti-air defense systems that Israel has. There are very, very few instances of impact sites that you see. I think this is from Iran, and the same goes for Iran as well, for the record. I don't know if this is from Israel. I think this might actually be from Iran, but the same goes for Iran as well. The Iranian government is also, from what I understand, is also limiting the amount of information that is readily available on their side. And part of the reason for why Iran is doing this is because they believe that Israel is engaging in cyber warfare, and they have much better capabilities. Israel has much better capabilities in terms of like engaging in cyber warfare than Iran does. And one of the things that, as far as I understand, that Israel has done is that the Islamic Republic of Iran has confirmed that the satellite transmission of one of the state media companies, Islamic Republic of Iran Broadcasting, was temporarily hacked. While it was hacked, a message reportedly played encouraging Iranians to pour into the streets. So Israel is trying to do that. Iran actually successfully was able to infiltrate the feed for Channel 14 for a brief moment a couple days ago after Israel had struck the Iranian national broadcaster. But that was only for a limited time, and it was just like a little bit of a blip. And Iran is shutting the internet down. They were shutting the internet down yesterday sporadically, and I believe now they're fully shutting the internet down and also diverting the international cellular calls as well. Iran told citizens through state media yesterday to delete Meta apps like WhatsApp because Meta is sharing the information with Israel. So let's continue.
This strike in Isfahan, and it's claiming to have killed Iran's new wartime chief of staff too, destroying the new guard days after taking out the old, and not ruling out toppling the supreme leader either.
I came here to strike.
Meta denies Iran's claims for what it's worth. I don't believe Meta at all. I 100% believe Iran on this, for the record. If you think that Meta and Mark Zuckerberg is not directly coordinating with the Israeli government, then you have not been paying attention to the censorship regime, that is happening for Meta in the West. Meta and Meta properties are insanely censorious and work directly hand in glove with Israeli intelligence, even in the West. So the notion that they would not actually work alongside Israeli intelligence in Iran, a high priority target for Israel, for the Israeli state, that is also a high priority target for the American State Department, you're out of your mind. Human Rights Watch has written extensively on both Meta's censorious regime, on anti-Israel sentiment, that they do not allow like any sort of criticism or even direct incidents of violence that Israel is engaged in on Instagram and other Meta applications. Human Rights Watch and other NGOs, humanitarian groups, have also obviously in the past extensively written about how Meta played a formative role in the anti-Muslim genocide in Myanmar. That was a couple years prior. So these guys they're not good. Meta is probably one of the worst, if we're being honest. This is false information that we're concerned will be used as an excuse to block WhatsApp at a time when people need it the most. All your personal messages or calls are end-to-end encrypted, so we cannot see them. We do not track precise location. We do not keep logs. I don't believe this. Okay, I don't believe that at all. As I said, they have the worst track record. I totally understand why they would want to shut down those applications. This is one of the reasons why America wanted to stamp out TikTok. And this is before we even have the conversation about like during war. Okay. If you think that America would ever allow a foreign social media application to exist during like war with said foreign application, you're out of your mind. If like we went to war with China, there would be no more TikTok.
Strengthen the residents of Herzliya and to send a clear message to the dictator in Tehran, Khamenei. If you continue to commit acts of war and launch missiles at the civilian population in Israel, your fate will be exact.
Is HasanAbi with or against Iran? I am in favor of anyone that can restrain the violence that Israel is subjecting everyone to. Okay? It does not matter who it is. It does not matter what shape this takes. I want Israel to stand down. That is what I want. Okay? And yes, as Israel struck first and violated Iranian sovereignty, Iran clearly has a right to defend itself. Israel had a right to defend itself on October 7 within the boundaries of what is known as Israel proper. Israel does not have a legal right or responsibility or authority to quote unquote defend itself by bombing a strip of land known as the Gaza Strip that it is the belligerent occupier of, for the record. But yes, just as Israel has a right to defend itself as the common meta always, Iran absolutely has a right to defend itself, and they have done so in this process. They have only struck back at Israel in unprecedented violence that Israel has dished out, violating previous international boundaries and norms.
Exactly like that of the dictator in the neighboring country to Iran, whose end is well known.
A veiled warning he could meet the same fate as Saddam Hussein, Iraq's former leader. Tehran is talking tough too. The state broadcaster defiantly celebrating a return to the studio on the same day it was bombed. Iran claims it's also hit military and intelligence targets in Israel.
Yeah, there's truth to these claims. It's just unfortunately very difficult to discern, because even though there's a shit ton of Western media in Israel, they do not allow any sort of Western media to cover any of the impact sites out of national security concerns. So
Israel has yet to respond, and the military has banned any broadcast of those sites. But not ones like this, civilian, and it would appear unintended. A bus parking lot in Herzliya. In one strike, Amar says
they're even coming after our boy Trey Yingst, which is really messed up. My Twitter moot, Trey Yingst, Fox News' foreign correspondent, Trey Yingst.
Lost his life's work. Do you fear this conflict with Iran?
We need peace. We need to work. We need to live like humans, not in war. The last 2 years, all we can do is follow the news and worry about the future of the country.
The missile hit here in the morning. It felt like a slight shift in rhythm. Most people we've been speaking to have come to expect attacks overnight, but this caught some off guard. It's perhaps part of a broader psychological strategy by Iran to make Israel look exposed. But the Iranian regime still looks firmly on the back foot. On the ground, there are no signs of capitulation or compromise, and plenty of scope for miscalculation. Cordelia Lynch, Sky News, Tel Aviv, Israel.